Hey everybody, welcome back. This is, of course, HD StarCraft, and I'm here to bring you guys another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm broadcast. Down in the top right-hand corner here of the map, Cloud Kingdom, we're going to be looking at the red Zerg player today, and this is from formerly Team Slayers. His name is, of course, Cella, and is now part of Team Acer. As you guys probably all know by now, Team Slayers did disband last year, and the players have kind of been looking for a new home, and actually MMA and Cella both joined up with Team Acer here, and they're new recruits, I guess you could say, into one of the new StarCraft 2 Heart of the Storm teams here. And once again, this is Cella, formerly also known as Cella, so it is going to be a professional, high-level StarCraft 2 player here. This is, of course, a Korean, and he's going to be playing against the Blue Terran player, who I've casted a couple of games already up on my channel, and his name is Shimoon, who assures me now he is in the top Grandmasters League in Heart of the Swarm. So very, very interesting. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Cella here and Shimoon giving a little bit of pause considerations in the beginning of the game. And this map, Cloud Kingdom, it's a big map, lots of expansions, lots of places you can go with, but I typically feel like for a Terran versus Zerg, this is a little bit more Terran oriented than it is for Zerg. I definitely feel like if you get into the mid game, which, you know, most matchups do, it can be kind of hard to hold off attacks through the front door and through this area, plus everything's pretty narrow and choked down, so it's easy actually for a Terran player to go ahead and get expansions down and then wall it off and play a defensive style. Now at the front door, Shimoon already has a barracks coming up, and he's brought out a second SCV in order to deal with the drone from Cella, and it looks like that drone is not going to be able to get an SCV kill. So he's going to go ahead and pull it away here and try to find out if there's any gases in the background, so he can see how quickly Shimoon is going to be teching up here. Now, I've got to say I'm very excited. Of course, this is the new year, 2013. A lot of new StarCraft 2 games going to be coming out on my channel. Of course, Heart of the Swarm is coming out in a couple of months, so that's one of the most exciting things, exciting events that'll be happening very, very soon. And, you know, we're looking at a Korean player here who you don't always get the opportunity to do so. The Koreans are very secretive and selective about their replays, and typically, unless they play against somebody who plays outside of Korea, it's very hard to actually get any games of them. So this is very interesting to see how Cella is going to be playing here, and what kind of playstyles he's implemented here in Heart of the Swarm. He does have a hatchery coming up. One SCV actually tracked that drone all the way back home, and like leaving a cookie crumb trail, that SCV was able to find out where Cella's expansion was. Of course, this is a 1 versus 1 map, so it's not very hard to figure out where your opponent does spawn, but we do have a spawning pool coming up right now back at home. Shimoon already stealing a couple of minerals here, so he's going to be a bit of a thief, and I think he's going to get out of here no problem. But most importantly, he gets inside the base and he finds out, okay, there's no gases coming up, so I don't have to worry about an early Zergling speed. And because I don't have to worry about early Zergling speed, that also means I don't have to worry about Baneling bust, early Roach fast bust, any type of early tech from Cella. Pretty much that possibility now is negated, and Shimoon can just say, alright, well, I can throw down another command center if I want. I can quickly tech up and try to go up for a starport. Really depends which way Shimoon wants to play, and of course, in Heart of the Storm, you do have two options as Terran. You can play mech or you can play bio. And it really does depend, it seems like, on the preference of the player. There isn't one route that players have said, okay, look, this is the best strategy for playing in Heart of the Swarm. Back in StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, it was pretty much biomech, you know, mostly bio with a little bit of siege tanks mixed in, lots of medevac support. That was the predominant style, mostly bio and some mech mixed in. But now, you know, Terran players definitely have that option. They can go with whatever they feel like gives them the best chances to win, and it really does matter a lot on their preference. There is no one true answer right now, so we'll just see what Shimoon wants to go with. And of course, Cella, he's the Korean here. He is going for the third hatchery out at the front door, and he's added on 2 gases as well. But you'll note that he doesn't have Zergling speed yet, and because he didn't get the gas early on, that means Zergling speed is going to be really, really delayed here. In fact, some Zerg players don't even go for Zergling speed. Sometimes they'll just play Roach Hydra Viper, and if you play Roach Hydra Viper, you don't need Zergling speed, you don't need melee attacks, you just need Carapace and ranged. And I've seen some Zerg players at the high level just say, all right, look, screw it, I'm not even going to get Zergling speed, I'm not even going to go for Zerglings. Of course, Cella is going for it, but I've seen some Zerg players just play Roach Hydra Viper, and it's been somewhat successful against Terran as well. No doubt that's, you know, part of that being, you know, Roaches and Hydras and Vipers they're a good unit when it comes to combating Terrans who'd like to switch between ground and air. And switching between ground and air now in StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm is pretty easy to do because the armor upgrade does share across the board. But anyways, we do have that Overlord coming in right now. There is a starport back at home for Shimoon, and Cella was able to see that. So Cella now is obviously aware that there is a tech lab back at home. Now, back in the early days of Heart of the Swarm, when you saw a Terran player doing this, you might say, all right, he's rushing Caduceus Reactor, but now this is required. You need a fusion core now to get that upgrade. So when you see a tech lab, 99% of the time it's for a Banshee, obviously, unless the Terran decided just to make a tech lab for no reason. So we'll probably see Cella here get a couple of spores just to be safe, maybe an Overseer, and just depend on his queens for anti-air defense. A couple of Hellions here trying to get in, but you know what? Cella's defense is quite stout. He's got 3 queens, he's got a spine crawler, and a lot of Zergs make the mistake here of over-defending the 3rd expansion and not protecting the natural, but you can see Cella's got 1 crawler there. And with the creep spread already connecting the bases, it's pretty easy for him to move the queens back in position. So these Hellions probably not going to do too much damage, although there are more drones coming in. More Hellions leaking in. Oh, Cella's got to be careful here, now trying to run them away and getting them back over to the spine crawlers, but he leaves his main exposed for those Hellions to go ahead and run on in. 6 drone kills already. And will Shimoon be able to get any more? It looks like he is going to get 1 more, 2 more. And that should probably be the end of that extravaganza. And overall, about 10 drone kills already. So Shimoon actually getting in there and getting the best of Cella. Not what you'd expect at all, because, you know, if you had to put money down, obviously Cella here would be the overwhelming favorite. But as Terran, that's your job. You got to get in there. You got to do as much drone damage as possible to prevent a Zerg player from getting so many drones to the point where it's just overwhelming and you can't even play against them. So this is great for the Terran player. Shimoon is actually going to get even more drone kills here. And it looks like he's hunting right now. He's up to 14 workers already, and at the very least, even if he falls back now and he decides, all right, I'm done, I'm not attacking anymore, he's evened up the drone to SCV count, and that's not counting the advantage Terran has with mules. So this is a great spot for the Terran player to be in, and this Banshee is coming in, just adding in, you know, insult to injury. It's going to get a couple more drone kills, and it's going to go ahead and fly out of there. So a really great opening here for the Terran player. I think any Terran now, it doesn't matter if you're bronze, you know, silver, gold, or grandmaster, you'd love to be in this spot right now because you've essentially limited the Zerg, you've killed off a large number of drones. That's forcing him to remake those drones, and you know, you're pretty much even on supply. Now, if Shimoon can hold off the Zergling counterattack from Cella, then he should be okay. Obviously, he's not going to lose anything because he can just lift off the command center. So actually, that's pretty good. It's going to be a pretty easy hold for him. And in fact, he doesn't really need to land it right now. He can just bring it back home, make it an orbital first, drop a meal, and then come back and land it when he's placed a couple of buildings here to help defend. But it looks like he's feeling pretty confident now, and he's bringing out quite a bit of SCVs. So yeah, we can see the preliminary bricks being laid down for that future wall, which is of course the supply depot. Now we do have 5 Mutalisks coming out, and there they are coming out of the hatchery. So a couple of mutas now on the way for Cella. And, you know, this is probably his one shot here to go ahead and get back in this game. Now, I don't think that Shimoon saw the Spire. No, he didn't. You can see this is his vision here. But he's got to be at least thinking that's possible, that Mutas could be on the way. And of course, he's got a couple of Thors out already, and Thors just in their standard attack mode are very good against Mutas. They can take them down very quickly, especially because Mutas love to clump up. But we'll see what happens. Now remember, Mutas do regenerate now much faster. So even if they take some damage here, they can regenerate, and it's not just out of combat. They can regenerate when they're fighting as well. So these Mutalisks are much better now. They're faster, they're more aggressive, they accelerate better, and they regenerate HP a little bit better. But we can see actually a couple of Hellions once again coming around the backside and getting a lot of drone kills there. We can see just a few drones now in the red, but no doubt a lot of drones going down to that Hellion attack. And now Cella saying, all right, I'm gonna convert now into Hydras and Roaches. I've got to get some type of actual ground unit right now, because you know what? If I don't get something out on the field, all I've got is Mutas right now. I'm obviously not going to win the game with just Mutalisks. I need something to to be more stable on the ground, to be able to combat should this army come in and attack me. And I definitely feel like Roaches and Hydras combined can deal with Terran Mech and Banshees as well, but I still feel like right now Cella is definitely behind in this game. Will he be able to come back? You know, he's got some mutas. He hasn't been aggressive with them yet, but, you know, one of the reasons is because I guess Shimoon's got a lot of missile turrets, man. He's got 3 on the north. He's got 1 on the 3rd expansion. In fact, actually 2 on the 3rd expansion. And with the Thors just chilling in the middle of the field, I mean, there's 6 Thors here in between the 2 bases. How can these Mutalisks possibly get in and do the damage they need to do? I think Cella's got to wait for Roach support to come in before he's even got a chance. And I almost feel like right now this is just a terrible position for a Zerg player to be in. He's trying to expand right now, trying to get a 4th hatchery down, but the Korean is backed up against the wall. Can he come back in this game? That's kind of the headline right now, the storyline for this matchup. And the underdog, will he be able to actually take a victory? You know, Shimoon, not who you would expect to be able to take out a Korean player, but he's doing it right now. Cella is bringing out quite a bit of Roaches and Hydras. And I think Cella is just preparing for one big attack here once he gets enough Roaches and Hydras out. But the problem is he doesn't even have Hive finished yet. He's just now starting the Hive, which means he's not going to have Hydra speed in forever. He's not going to have 3-3 forever. He can't attack, really. Not with this army. The best he can hope to do is just sit in the middle of the map and try to play a macro game and hold the position of map control in the middle of the game, in the middle of the map. But there are some Hellions coming around the back once again, and these Hellions are now Blue Flame upgraded, so the drones, they've got to run away. It looks like they are going to be able to make it out. Oh, gotta be careful there! Oh my god! And throughout all of that, I guess not that many drones going down. There was a good clump right there, but Cella able to keep actually more drones than I thought he was going to be able to keep alive there. But still, that drone deficit, man, 34 workers killed to only a measly 2. Just showing really the momentum of this game. And here comes Shimoon. It looks like he wants to go for the next command center. Now, this is a pretty small army from Cella. That's a lot of siege tanks as well. I don't see how the Zerg player can win this fight. It's just not possible. Shimoon's going to take this expansion. No doubt about that. No questions asked. And Cella is going to have to pull back and wait for a better time to attack that location. But I don't know, man. I almost feel like maybe right now Shimoon could actually push out and have his way with the Zerg. Not too sure what Cella can do. Hydra speed not anywhere near complete. We don't have burrow for the Roaches, so they can't go underground and, you know, pop up underneath the Terran mech army. This could just be brutal. Shimoon's making one solid concerted push here. There aren't enough mutas to take out the Thors. That is a lot of Roaches and Hydras, but they are so clumped up there with the Hellbats and the siege tanks in the front, just destroying everything. And all the Roaches and Hydras, their carcasses, their blood pooling on the creep. And there we go. So Shimoon is going to take this victory here. And with that, probably take this game. I don't know how Cella can come back. Really just one of those spots where you almost feel it's like a futile effort. Like, how do you stop a Terran army composed of siege tanks, Hellbats, and Thors? And I almost feel like maybe the Hive tech was just a little too late for Cella. You need Vipers. You really do need Vipers in order to combat this type of army. You got to start pulling in and blinding clouding packs of tanks. That's really the only way you can win against an army like this with Zerg. Or you got to get up to Brood Lords as quickly as possible. But I feel like Vipers are much easier to get to than Brood Lords. And look at that line of Hydras just coming out. GG calls Cella. But I think this game was probably won by Shimoon the moment he got into the natural and the main and started killing up drones with those Hellions. Because he put Cella so far behind in the worker count that there really was no chance for Cella to come back, especially once he started making a ton of Roaches and Hydras and Mutas and trying to expand at the same time. It was like he was trying to make enough of an army to be able to survive an attack and try to drone at the same time. As Zerg, you gotta pick one or the other. I feel like you gotta go either attack or you gotta make a bunch of drones and macro and just cross your fingers and hope you don't get attacked. But if you try to go every single direction, it's pretty easy for Terrence, I think, with Shimoon in the position he was in, to go ahead and win this game. So that was that. A pretty solid victory there for Shimoon, but I thought it was interesting to go ahead and cast a game, of course, with the Korean Acer.Cella, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. This is HD StarCraft, and I am signing out.